Welcome back. Dale Myers with Vision Advance. Today we are going to discuss failure teaches success. How top CEOs learn from failure. Now, I know that a lot of you are like, well, no, failure's, not what I do. I'm a man of excellence. You should be. However, the top CEOs have all failed. All failed. Failure, this perception of failure has gotten a bad rap. So we need to be clear on that. And that's the purpose of this video, so that we can move beyond the unrealistic expectations that some of us have. It's not that it's wrong to fail. It's wrong to continue to fail due to the same situation. You're not learning what you ought to learn. So again, I did some research in a study by the Harvard Business Review, studying the top 100 of the top CEOs in Fortune 500 companies, and they found out that all of them had failed, but fully 45% had almost catastrophic failures of the sort that almost crippled their business, almost career-ending failures, fired and everything. 45%. But they're now a top CEO. How did they move beyond that? They learned. So part of it is they had to be a risk taker. The reason we need to also discuss this, if you're still, this channel is about leadership and entrepreneurship. So in your organization, even if you're working for someone else, you still are a leader, right? And you're trying to ascend to higher heights. We need to move beyond this thing about perfection. You will never be perfect. You're going to fail, accept that, and understand that the sooner we fail and learn from it, we eliminated a choice. So now the right choice is we're closest to the right choice. That's something that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, right? You've heard that he tried it 10,000 times. Well, one of his quotes was that he looked at the 10,000 failures as saying, I identified 10,000 ways that wouldn't work, so it got me closer to the one that would. That's the kind of psychology you need to have. Failure is a part of this learning process. Daymond John, the founder of FUBU, I like this quote. He said he's a billion-dollar company now, multi-billion-dollar brand rather. He's had over 1,000 failures, but he's remembered for the 3 successes. What does that say for you? How many failures do you need to have your one smashing success? And that's really why I'm trying to do this. How many failures do you need to have? How many times do you need to throw that dart at the dartboard, missing it before you hit your bullseye? It's it's pretty much a probability thing. All right, our odds go up. The odds of our success go up the more we try. Henry Ford said something about the man that doesn't fail works for the one who does. Think about that for a minute. You guys, when you walk into the interview and the hiring manager or the person says, tell me about an incident in which you failed, and you say, well, I really can't come up with any because I never failed at anything. That means that you're really not taking risks. And it says you're probably not going to be a great leader because all great leaders must take risks. It comes with the territory. It comes with the position. If you're an entrepreneur, you're taking risk. Now, we want to take measured risk. And I did several videos on that, and I'll include a link in the description below about accelerate the rate of failure, but manage the risk. Risk takers create cultures of innovation. They know how to innovate. They learn from what's going on, what mistakes they made, and then they innovate. And they create that culture within their organization. The last quote that I want to turn to, John Wooden, and I need to read this one. He said, if someone has never failed, then they are not likely able to innovate. Actually, no, I apologize. He says, failure isn't fatal, but failure to change might be. Failure isn't fatal, but failure to change might be. And it makes sense. If you keep bumping your head into that same wall without doing something different, yeah, that's what's wrong. So again, guys, change your psychology, change your mindset. Failure is okay as long as we learn from it. So now that we've said that we want to be like the top 100 CEOs and learn from our failures. Failure teaches success. How do we do that? Let me give you a construct. The first part, I said what? Let me go back for a second. Courage. Why is courage written here? Because risk takers also have to have courage. It takes a certain amount of courage to go the uncharted course, to take uncomfortable positions, to not do the status quo, to inspire, to lead from the top, pushing down, to lead to inspire down and inspire upwards. It takes a courageous leader, because often to inspire the people upwards, you may have to challenge their thinking. Courageous leaders do that. That's a tenet of leadership. All right. Now, along the way, we sense and respond. That's what this word sense is written here for. Maybe I was blocking it. Sense means sense and respond. How can I learn from my environment? The only way I can learn is if I'm talking to my customers, if I'm measuring my key measures, right? KPIs. I'm constantly measuring, and I'm seeing what's going on in the environment. All of the marketing stuff we've been talking about is related to the failure. We're sensing and responding to what's happening every day. So our construct for how then do we learn like the 45% that have failed, or learn like the top 100 CEOs? First thing we need to do is, of course, identify the problem. We have to have a method for identifying a problem. Sometimes that's easy. Sometimes it'll smack you in the face, right? Then what do? A lot of people get it wrong here. They try to keep it away. They try to hide it. No, that's not what you do. Get out in front of it. Own the situation. Take responsibility. Report it. Report it up the chain and downward. Part of this is modeling. See, I wrote the word model over here. As a leader, we have to, as part of our culture, we want to model that mistakes are going to be made. I'm not perfect as a leader. Now, I must ensure that my people respect my decision-making ability and will follow. But it's not about perfection. It's about modeling excellence. And an excellent leader learns from the mistakes, uses what he or she learns to better the organization, to better themselves. So we said we're going to identify, we're going to report. Step number 3, we're going to analyze our results. We're going to analyze it. That report, remember, we communicated it throughout the organization in terms of who needs to know. Analyze it, and then we learn from it. We have to learn. What do we learn? Not who did it, who was wrong. We'll deal with that down the road, perhaps. But it's about what was a mistake. What did we learn from it? Can we apply this information within our current condition? Is it in what we learned? Can it apply to other situations? Okay, that can also become a huge thing for your business. All of this is about the culture. Creating the right culture, a culture of risk-taking, a culture of innovation, so that we learn. The whole point, guys, as small business owners, our strength is that we respond quickly, sense and respond to our environment. In order to do that, we have to have a culture of risk-taking. And the other thing I didn't write down is reward. You need to reward the risk-taking. We don't punish it, we reward it. Did they do what they were supposed to do? Did they act with the best information? Did they have the best information, and did they act on it? Did they work hard enough to get it done? Fine, we failed. Are they actively involved in learning so that we don't repeat the same mistake? Reward that behavior. The last thing I want to say is, guys, when we fail, we come to a point where we actually need to learn. We hit this thing where we realize that what we were doing was not sufficient to solve the task, and it puts us in a humbling spot, and it reinforces the desire, the need to learn, and that's actually a huge thing. So failure, that's another reward in failure, is that for those of us that want to grow, this need to learn is satisfied. So how does failure teach success? By instituting a process, a culture that involves identifying problems and failure points, reporting, communicating those failures, analyzing it, learning from those failures, and applying it to the situation or new situations within our business, creating a culture of risk-taking, including rewards, where the leadership team models the behavior. We model excellence, we don't model perfection. Our subordinates look at us and they want to be like us. We need to be human. We're not perfect. They're not perfect. That's another way to connect. So again, guys, this is relevant. It's not perfection. It's excellence. Excellence. Learning. Excellence comes through learning and continual growth. How do we be like the top 100 CEOs? How do we constantly better ourselves? We have to learn from our failures. Fail early and often. Come up with a mechanism for sensing and responding. So, in the comments below, leave an example of when you failed. What did you learn, or how did that propel you? We all have some stories. I'd love to hear about it. My name is Dale Myers with Vision Advance. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe if you haven't, and share it with your people on all of the socials. Again, Dale Myers with Vision Advance. You guys have an outstanding day, and we'll talk soon. Take care.